Morning. Hi guys, good morning. Let's begin. Welcome to Pilates. We're going to start on, what am I doing? We're going to start on the mat, okay? So come and lay down. Let's just see. There. Yeah. Okay, so come and lay down onto your mat. Okay, with your knees bending and soles of feet flat on the floor, okay? All right, so just for a moment, just come into position, find that lovely position, that lovely length from the top of the head to the tailbone, and just relax your rib cage. Okay, just take a moment to breathe. Feel the ribs expand as you inhale, and as you exhale, just feel them gently just soften and relax with no real effort. Just a lovely smooth breath into the ribs. And a very gentle exhale, let them just gently relax and come down. Very nice, okay. So from there, just gently start to roll your pelvis through north and south. Start to engage the transverse abdominis. Remember, it's coming from your center, this movement. And it's never coming from you trying to push your back. It's all coming from your waistline. Good, so we just gently rock forwards and backwards, and then we're going to stop in between those two extremes and find our neutral spine. Okay, so that's what we're going to find, neutral spine. Lovely. From there, you're going to think about the space between the ribs and the hips staying the same. Okay, the shoulders down, we're going to engage the core, and we're going to just lift one leg up to tabletop. Brilliant. Just notice how that feels. Place it back down. Notice that you didn't want to change anything. Think about lifting the second leg and then lift the second leg. Notice how that feels. Gently place it down, just taking note of what's going on in your center. So just start to do one leg then the other, but go really slow with it. Really focus on what's going on internally. So really try and check in with those real deep internal muscles of your core and notice how they feel, what that feeling is, how they activate before you lift the leg, and if you're maybe compensating anywhere. So really tune in with what your body's doing. That's brilliant. We're just going to do a couple more, making sure the pelvis stays really, really stabilized. And this is our last one. Awesome. From there, just lift your arms above your chest so your palms are facing towards each other, and just reach to the ceiling and then draw them back down again. And again, reach to the ceiling, gently let them anchor down. I'm going to carry on with that. Exhale, lift, inhale, come down. Exhale to lift and inhale to come down. Just a couple more times. And then finish with your shoulder blades just stabilized, drawing down towards your back pockets, making sure your rib cage is not lifting, soft ribs, rib cage tracking down towards the hips. And let's start to go for a little bit of a shoulder bridge. We take a breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to roll to the tip of the sacrum. We're going to squeeze the bottom as we start to come off, roll up in sequence, and your pelvis should be higher than your rib cage. Squeeze your bottom and push your knees away from your head. Try to create more length in your thighs. Imagine your legs are being pulled away from you. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, scoop in through your belly and roll down in sequence. Let your tailbone lengthen out last. Okay, so let's do that again. We take a breath in. As we breathe out, we roll to the tip of the sacrum. We keep scooping in the tummy. We're going all the way to the top, and you're going to push through the feet. Sort of press the floor away. Yeah, lift the pelvis by squeezing your bottom, and make sure the toes aren't scrunching. Then you scoop the belly and roll down and keep that lovely curvature of the spine all the way to the bottom, and then the tailbone lengthens out. So let's keep going and do a few more of those and really focus on that articulation, that fluidity of movement. Thinking about shoulders drawing away from the ears, constantly check in and think about your posture alignment. Think about what your feet are doing. Make sure they're not scrunching. Sometimes the feet do very weird compensatory movements. We end up with like scrunched feet or weird things going on with the feet. So just every now and then check in with the feet. And that's the thing about Pilates. You have to keep checking in with things. You've got to check in with what the feet are doing. You have to check in with what your shoulder girdle is doing. You have to check in with what your waistline is doing, what your neck is doing. There's always something to think about, and that's the great thing. That's what makes it so mindful. When it all comes together and works in harmony, it feels super duper great. That's your last one. Awesome, guys, well done. From there, just take your arms out wide, palms face the ceiling. Just check in and make sure your head's not tipping backwards, okay? Keep your feet with space between them as we go one way and the other. And just gently stretching out through the back, but keep the rib cage nice and soft. Okay, watch the ribs aren't, protruding. Lovely. And then just hold in the center. Lift the arms back up with control, coming from the shoulder girdle. Turn the palms to face down to the mat. Come up into flexion and have the arms quite low to the floor, okay? Let's go into our hundreds. Breathe in for 5 counts and breathe out for 5 counts. Now, I want you guys to really think about scooping in your tummy, okay? So feel like your belly is being sort of hollowed out at the bottom. You're going to make sure that you're not letting your back push into the floor. Think about your neck alignment and feel like your fingertips are trying to touch your ankles. That's good. Keep the breath going, breathing in and breathing out. This is really going to warm the body up. This is a great warm-up exercise. This was designed by Josie Pilates to warm up the body. Well done, guys. Keep it going nice and strong. Lots of power through those arms. And hold. And then roll back down again. Very nice. We're going to roll straight onto our tummy now. So we're going to come down to our tummy, stretch the legs out straight, hands and elbows by the floor. Okay. Before we do anything, let's just think about connection. So you're looking straight at the mat, but check your neck position. Watch you're not letting your head droop forward. So gently draw your head in slightly. Think about space between the crown of the head and the tailbone. Lift your tummy, so engage your core, switch on the waistband, and just get the feeling that you're gently drawing your elbows towards your feet. So don't lift them up or try to physically move them, but imagine you're drawing your elbows towards your feet and feel that lovely connection around the upper mid back. So you should feel around the shoulder blades that they're sort of drawing towards the hips. And you should feel your neck is really long. Get that feeling, like if you were to just for example, if you were to push your chin forwards and up and you look forwards like that, you can actually feel how that strains your neck. So sometimes when we think long neck, we often do this by mistake because we're looking up, it makes it, we think we're going longer, but remember it's not. A long neck is there, not there, yeah? So the other thing to remember is don't go too far the other way. Because sometimes in a bid to get this long neck, we end up doing this. And then we've overflexed, okay? So we just want the neck to be in a nice neutral position with a natural concave curve. So we've got all of those connections. So you should already feel quite strong in position here. The legs are energized. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to lead with your chest up, forwards, go forwards. And the legs are going to reach back behind you. You're going to lift your tummy off of the floor. And then we're going to inhale. And then we exhale and lower back down. So we're focusing on stretching the spine. Let's keep going. We're reaching up, and we are going into a bit of a lumbar extension. So we are going up a little bit high. This is not like a low dart. This is a little bit coming up a bit further into flexion. However, we've got to do it the right way. So it's that forwards feeling. It's that feeling that your sternum is being pulled forwards. It's reaching forwards. Going to stretch from the top of the head to the toes, and you shouldn't feel any sort of pressure in your lower back. Just your eye gaze goes forwards, and let's do one more. Stretch it long and awesome. Okay, well done, guys. Let's come back into a shell stretch. Sit your butt back, let your head just rest on the floor and your arms just resting there. Okay, very nice. Let's come to seated. Okay, so feet and knees hip width apart. Okay, and then just hold onto the backs of your thighs. Sit nice and tall, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, roll through the sacrum, let the arms just lengthen away. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll through the sacrum, the top of the head goes in the opposite direction, so you're creating like this curve in the spine. So it's really important here that we don't let the feet come off the floor and that we don't collapse. So remember, what we don't want to do is like collapse. But we want to get the feeling that the upper mid back is flexing, but it's a byproduct of we've started initiation of going under with the pelvis, the top of the head's going that way, and then that makes the spine curve. Yeah? Start to take the arms off and roll away. Keeping the feet on the floor. Now, it's really easy to cheat on this. We end up going like that, and then we're there, and then we think, oh yeah, I've gone all the way down, but we've sort of missed out sections. We've sort of just let the back stay flat and sort of pushed off a bit. So really focus, like when I get to here, for example, it's quite easy for me now just to go, and I haven't really articulated, I've just laid. So I want you to think about it coming through bit by bit by bit. Like one bone. It's almost like my pelvis is curling up that way. So it's carry on curling this way. Think of it like that, and you get that roll through. And then you might finish all the way down, and then you go arms, head, follow. And again, when you get to here, it's quite easy to sort of like just push up. Actually, what we want is to pull in and roll off in sequence. So really just let that be your focus, and notice if you're doing it with segmental control, or you're kind of doing a little bit of a cheat and sort of just coming up and missing out, you know, that rolling through of the spine. Relax your shoulders all the time. Now, if you want to keep progressing on with this, take the legs out straight and do the same thing. Okay, press the legs away from you as you roll down. Okay, so you're going to get that rolling through. Push the legs away, rolling in sequence. Let your eye gaze just follow where your hands are. Good. And finish at the top. Awesome, guys. Bend the legs. And we'll keep the legs straight, actually. If you can keep them straight. Otherwise, bend them up slightly. Yeah? But just make sure you're in sit bones. That's the important thing. Take your arms out in front of you. Okay, and we're going to open the door. And close the door. Then the other side. Open the door. And close the door. So as one arm goes back, the other arm reaches forwards, so it's a counter force. So really, you know, both sides of the body are working. It's that pulling effect, like a bow and arrow. And as you turn, you're not going to lean or crouch down. You're going to stay very lifted. And you're going to really open through your chest, stretching right through to the crown of the head, and your eye gaze goes with you. So as you turn, take your head with you towards the back. Awesome. Keep both of your sit bones very even. So you'll notice if you feel the sit bones, actually it's the legs. The legs will tell you if you're doing it correctly. If when you start to move, you can feel one of your legs doing something different to the other, then that's an indication that we need to reassess, because that means our pelvis is a little bit not stable. It's not stabilizing, it's got a bit skew with. Relax those shoulders, guys. As you're doing this, watch the shoulders aren't going hunchy. Try and inhibit the traps, yeah, draw them down. Lovely. And are we breathing? Let's check in with our breath. One more on each side. Nice. Let that movement come from your waistline. And relax. Good. Turn the palms to face down. Inhale, lift into the head nod. Do you see how I do that? I'm not going, I'm lifting. So actually, the lift comes from the pelvic floor. So I engage the pelvic floor, and that gives me height to the back of the head. So then I'm going forward, scooping the tummy in away from the legs, relaxing the shoulders. Look down, guys, watch your necks. Yeah, that's it. Then you're going to roll back up and let your head come back up last. Let's go again. Always consider the neck position, yeah? So I'm looking down, but I'm not drooping, but I'm not doing that either, because that's also going to crush the neck. So your neck position is super important. And the reason you have to really think about it all the time is because our necks are the most mobile part of the spine. So it's definitely more mobile than thoracic. You know, thoracic is most restricted. So that's how we get whiplash and stuff. So you've really got to take extra care when you're thinking about what your neck is doing. See if you can keep those ankles dorsiflexed so you get that nice connection through the hamstrings. Let's do one more. Awesome, well done. Brilliant. Okay, guys, lovely. We're gonna let's lay back down. Lay back down. Okay, so we're back into that laying down position. You're gonna lift one leg up to tabletop. Okay. Make sure the knee is over the hip. Okay. We're gonna do our hip circle, but as I move my leg, you'll notice the angle at my knee doesn't change. Yeah, so I'm just moving the femur around in the hip and ball socket. Now, I can see some of you are doing it and you're trying to push the leg out here. And what we're getting is this. It's not like this big movement. It's just the top of the femur moving around in the hip and ball socket. So kind of forget about the knee and the foot. Just bring it back to the top of the femur. One circle and stop. One circle and stop. Good. If I was looking, I don't want to sort of sit up and do that, but if I can slightly notice my knee, I don't want to be able to see my foot. So it's staying in the same position. And the pelvis is going to stay really level. Let's change the direction. One circle, stop. One circle, stop. Lovely, guys. Keep that waistband just pulling in nice and strong. Couple more in that direction. And place the foot down. Make sure that foot goes in line with the sit bone and then pick up the other leg. Okay, and then we go again. Across, circle, stop. Across the body, circle, stop. Keeping that pelvis really level. Okay, no wiggle wobbling around, and you're thinking especially about the leg that's on the floor, right? Think about the leg that's on the floor staying still. So your reductor, the inner thigh on that supporting leg, has to work really hard to not let the leg collapse out. The glute med and the adductor are working together to keep that leg stabilized. Change direction. Lovely, well done. Just moving the top of the thigh around in the hip and ball socket. That's awesome. Just a couple more. Lovely. And then place the foot down. I'm going to turn my mat back round to the side actually. Stay where you are, guys. We're going to go back into the pelvic, the shoulder bridge, and we're going to go to some single leg lifts. If it feels like it's too much for you to lift one leg off the floor and you want to just stay with the rolling up and rolling down, then that's absolutely fine if you need to go there today. Okay, so we're going to roll through the spine, come up into the bridge position. So you know that you've got your glutes on, your knees must not be out there. They've got to be together, like you're holding something between the legs and the ribs are soft. Okay, so make sure your pelvis absolutely doesn't drop. If you are struggling, you could place your hands. I don't particularly like this one, but some people, you know, that is an option if you need to go there. The only thing is I feel sometimes we never progress because it's quite comfortable to do that. But if you are someone that's maybe newer, you could go there if you needed to. Or if you're particularly going through a bad back spell, let's say, this is sometimes helpful on occasion, okay? So you're going to lift one leg without the pelvis dropping to tabletop. Notice if your bottom dropped, if your shoulder girdle is still stabilizing. Place it down and make sure you put the foot down where it came from. We often place it down too close to the other one. So just check that positioning. Then lift the other leg, stabilize the supporting leg and lift the other leg into the air. Keeping that other leg, so the glute on the supporting leg really has to work hard. Place the foot down where it came from. Make sure it didn't go into the middle. And let's continue to alternate. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Now, this should absolutely not hurt your back. If you're feeling it in your back, you have to have a little rethink on your technique and think, oh, actually, I need to engage my core more. I need to squeeze my bottom more. Yeah, all of those things need to be considered. And if you are just not getting it and it's just too much today, carry on with the just normal roll up and roll downs, or you could take it a little bit lower and do it from down here, where just the bottom is lifted off the floor, and you'll still get the workout. It's just slightly different feeling there, slightly different connection. Okay, just do one more on each side. Lovely, and then roll it down through the spine, lengthen away. Awesome. Lift one leg to tabletop, and then the other. Cross your ankles so your knees are wide. Okay, wide knees. We're going to do roll over prep. So how we do this is super, super important. I could easily go, it looks like I've done it, but that's not it. So you are going to not throw the legs. That's parallel. Do not throw the legs, okay? You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, before you even move, draw the pubic bone to the belly button. Then let that be the precursor to bringing you into the roll. Hold and stay, and then roll back down. So if we go slowly, we know we're more in control. So what we want to avoid is this kind of up and then down, up and then down. There's no control there if you're doing it that way. So you're going to draw your waistline in, pubic bone to belly button. You're using your core to roll the back and then come down. So there's nothing coming from the legs. Yeah, it's just all about your core activating. You're rolling your spine. You're getting that lovely stretch in the lumbar. But less is more. This is very much one of those exercises where less is more. It does not have to be a big movement. You might find that you're not even going that far. Like you might be going less than I am. Don't try to go as far as I am just for the sake of finding a way just to get to that height. It's about doing it correctly and getting those muscles really, really working. The reason we want to do a really good setup is the actual rollover exercise is from here, you go over and you're there, okay? And then you come down. Now, I've taught rollover prep in classes, and we've done it and done it and done it and done it. And when we've come to do the actual rollover, people can't do it. And it's just because they weren't doing the prep. It's very easy to cheat on the prep. So really focus on that prep. Change to the other ankle. Focus on the prep and really getting those deep connections. So if you do that right, and you really tune in with which muscles are meant to fire and when, and you build the strength up from here, you will do a fantastic rollover, and you'll do it, well, with ease, I want to say, really. You know, it won't feel like an effort because you'll be strong enough to be able to do it. So I'm going to give the option of doing the rollover. So I don't want you to do it if you're not ready, okay? Because it's got to be done correctly. So carry on with the rollover prep if you would like to. Otherwise, if you want to try the actual rollover, you start with your legs in a 45-degree angle. So even the start position is quite intense. You've got to make sure the belly isn't pushing out or the back's not arching. From that 45-degree angle, you make sure the shoulder girdle is stabilized. You're going to use your core to roll over and hold. Now, when you get here, you've got to make sure that your legs are not collapsing onto your head. We do tap them down to the floor and then lift them back up, and they stay there. Scoop the belly in. You take them a little bit apart, and as you roll down in sequence, you make sure that your head and your shoulders do not move. And then you're getting that glorious stretch of the spine. When you get to the end, then you bring the legs together. Okay, let's try that again. So we scoop and go over, keep your legs lifted. Okay, so imagine you're lifting your sit bones up to the ceiling. Take the legs a little bit wide, scoop the belly, come down evenly on both sides of the pelvis, reach the legs away, bring them together, okay? So what's important is as you start the roll down, you don't let your legs collapse onto you. You keep that space. We'll just do one more. Over we go. Take them a little bit apart, scoop the belly, hollow up through the tummy as you roll down, and keep your head and shoulders in the same position and legs together. And then everybody just bring the knees in and just relax. Well done. You might want to do some little circles in one direction and in the other if that feels good. Well done. Awesome. Okay, let's bring ourselves up to seated. Let's do a little bit of rolling like a ball. Okay, so you're going to hold on to the ankles or hold on to the wrists. You can choose which way you'd like to do it. Relax the shoulders. Look at the knees, but don't push the chin forwards. Draw the belly in, and you're going to roll through the sacrum and back up. So we go bottom to ceiling and then head to ceiling. Roll through the lower part of the back, and you want it to be as quiet as possible. So you're going to draw your belly button in towards your spine. You're going to let those toes just hover off of the floor. And we'll do one more and stay at the bottom and hold. Like a little dead bug. That's it. Okay. Brilliant. So we're nice and lifted still. Yeah, we're just here. And actually, you're going to encourage now your knees and forehead to come together. But remember, if it hurts your neck, you're doing it wrong. It means you're straining with your neck. So you've got to use your core to get that feeling of bringing your head closer to your knees. It can't come from the neck, right? And then release it away, reach it out, hold one leg. Hold one leg and one leg is straight. Single leg stretch. Try not to come up like this. Keep the rib cage down, shoulder blades up. Then we switch. And switch. Now think about that leg that's long, reaching away, reaching away. And it's like you're polishing a sheet of glass between your legs. You're looking down through the center and you're relaxing your shoulders. Good. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stay. And then relax it down. Okay, brilliant. Place your feet back onto the floor. Well done, guys. And take your arms out wide to the side. Feet and knees have got space between them. And you're going to let your legs go across the side with space between the feet. Okay, just hold it there. Feel the rib cage just soften down to the floor. And then bring them back to the center and go the other way. Relax the rib cage down. That's it. Feel that lovely stretch through the center. And then bring them back up to the middle. Okay, guys, take your feet further away from your head. Yeah. Arms overhead. Remember to always remember when your arms go overhead, funnel the ribs down the opposite direction. Yeah, that's really important that we don't hike up. Yeah, funnel them down. So now your arms are going to come above your head. You look towards them, hold onto your legs, don't pull yourself up, but use them as a guide to help you get to the top. Okay, brilliant. Let's roll back down again. So arms, head, look towards the feet, scoop the belly in, and they're just there as a little guide, but you're not gonna, don't physically pull, if that makes sense. And we're gonna keep going. So really scooping in the tummy to get that lift. Perfect. Lovely, well done, guys. Let's do one more. We're going to stay at the top when we get there. Yes, awesome. Okay, turn to the side, come to 90-90. I'm actually molting. Is anyone else molting? I feel like I really need hairdressers. Okay, the same arm as the front leg is going to come up. Other hand just goes on the floor there and just stretch it away. Just lift it away. Open through the ribs. Yeah, get that lovely stretch. Up, 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 up. Feels really good. Relaxing the shoulders. Awesome. And then go the other way and lift. Slightly different feeling there. Good. Keep stretching. How far can you go with this? Endless possibilities. And again, change. Check in though, make sure you're not using your neck or shoulder in case that's going to stay relaxed. And one more the other way. Lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. And relax. Okay, let's change our legs to the other side. Okay, so same arm as front leg. Comes up and stretch. Keep reaching away. And change. Oh, it's a lovely day out there today. I say that. Hopefully where you are is. Looks nice. Blue skies. Yeah. And change and lift. And change and lift. Okay, well done. So just come to 4-point kneeling. Okay, nice flat back. Lovely. We're just going to do a little bit of puppies in the snow, which is where you lift your hand off the floor, place it down. We're going to do it with the opposite knee. So opposite hand and knee are going to lift, but just very small, and place it down. Then the other side, opposite. Feel the connections and notice that you don't want to sway. So you're trying to keep your body really still as you do this movement. Okay, so you're lifting up through the abdominals. You're checking in with your neck position. And just feeling those muscles of the deep core connect. Really focus on staying away from the floor. Don't let your body gravitate down towards it. So you're constantly lifting the chest away from the floor. So now we start with the hover, and then keeping the body nice and still, extend out straight, bring it back in, place it down. So we're going to hover, reach, back in, place it down. Let's keep going. Hover, reach, in, down. Well done, guys. Awesome. Your eye gaze is just looking sort of where your hands are, but slightly in front of them. So your neck's in a good alignment. I'm not looking forward, so that's going to hurt the neck, and I'm not looking into my tummy because that's going to overflex the neck. When that leg and arm reach away, you've got to try and keep your torso in the same position. You don't want your back to start arching or anything like that. And then just finish on the side that you didn't start on. And then go into a cat stretch. Scoop up through the center, head to tail, tail to head. Stretching out into a nice flat back. Lovely. Keep moving between those two extremes, scooping up, reaching away. And one more. And then just sit back into a child's pose. Let your tailbone just sink down. Let your forehead rest onto the floor. Okay, and then gently come on up and just roll the shoulders a couple of times. Nice. Okay, let's come up to standing to finish. Runner's tan will go there. Okay, place the feet underneath the hips and, oh, can't see my head. Place the feet underneath the hips. Yeah, and just roll the shoulders up, round and down. Couple more. Focusing on breathing. And then just let the arms hang. Okay, so from there, you've got your weight spread out evenly between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. The palms of your hands are facing your legs and not holding on or turned in. Knees are strong, pelvis is in neutral. Feel that little lift through the pelvic floor. Feel that you've got space between your rib cage and your hips, and that your head is on top of your shoulders. Lengthening right through to the crown of the head. Lovely. Just reach the arms up. Relax the shoulders. Okay, keep looking straight in front of you. Watch that we don't end up doing this one. Yeah. Then you're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. Not too, don't come onto a forced starch, just lift the heels, but not too high. Yeah. Keep them lifted, push your bottom back. Push your bottom back. Keep the heels lifted and rise. I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to do that again. Now you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm pushing the weight back. Yeah, so I'm not letting my knees push over the toes. Sometimes I've seen people sort of do this. Yeah, so we need to make sure it's bottom going back. Your body will pitch forward slightly. And you're coming up and down, your heels are staying off the floor all the time. So we don't go into a forced arch, we just lift the heels slightly. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Very nice, let's do one more. And then let the arms hang. Whoops. And then just go through the feet. Walk it out. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's good. That's it, guys. Well done. Easy. Landing nice and light. You got it. And then just place the heels down, standing tall. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lift up from the back of the head, roll down. Inhale at the bottom and exhale to lift your tummy and roll up through the spine. Coming up, head comes up last. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift from the crown of the head, coming down through the spine. Bone by bone by bone by bone. Inhale there. And exhale to lift up through the tummy. Roll it up through the spine. Head comes up last. One more, take a breath in. Exhale, lift. Come down. Inhale. Exhale to roll it up. And then just bend and stretch. This time we are allowing the knees to come forwards because we're just focusing on just stretching out our sort of calves, Achilles, lower leg area, which can get quite tight. Good, guys, well done. Just press and lift, lovely. Keeping the knees, tracking the ankles, watch they don't deviate in or out. Sorry, I have got the worst hay fever. It's hard not to attack the eyeball. Good, okay, well done. And just do one more. Okay, then just hold. Just find your center, take a couple of breaths into the rib cage. And well done. Give yourselves a clap. Amazing. Have a lovely day. The sun is shining, hopefully where you are. And see you next class. Take care.